guys, this is Ray with SD Custom Footwear, and we're back with more videos. First of all, I want to apologize for taking some time off. I have to take care of some projects, but we're going to finish lasting the shoes. Now, this is a different pair of shoes. I mean, it's not the same one we started off with, but it is the same process. We're going to go over the lasting. It's the same process, just different shoe. I messed up, and when I recorded myself lasting the other shoe, it was sped up. It was a time lapse, so it's anyways, we had to redo it. Different shoes, same process. All right, guys. So let's get it. When we left off, we had attached the back part to the front part, like this, right? We stitched this stitch here, and we were going to get ready to last, right? So you might notice this one looks a little bit different. That's because I glued it all together. If you notice here, the heel counter is already in there. So this is kind of a hybrid way of doing it, because I'm going to put glue all this together. I'm going to stitch it here so it closes, and then I'm going to do the front toe part the way I do it normally, which is I last the liner first, put on the toe puff, and then I last the upper. You'll see. It'll make sense, but I'm going to do it both ways to show you guys both ways, right? So the back heel is already in there. I got the foam in there, the collar foam, the heel counter, the backing, and then I close it up. I glue it, but remember, don't glue where the foam is, because it'll squish the foam and it'll get flat and not look good. It's not going to expand again. All right. So I glued all that. I'm going to stitch a line here, just a single stitch under here. You're not going to see it. It's going to go under the lasting allowance. It's just to close up my back part of the heel. All right. And then I'll do the stitch here. Flip it around, and we'll do the other one. All right. So let's go do that. All right, guys. So we finished stitching, and here's what I was talking about. I stitched this whole line. I closed it all the way around up to here, so the back is all closed up, and I left the front part open. All right, so we're gonna do the front one way and do the back another way, just to show you guys the different methods. So I close the liner with the uppers starting from the eye stay all the way to the other eye stay. All right, and then I let this open so we can put our toe puff in there after we last it. So the first step to lasting is you get your last, make sure you have the right size. And there are different ways you can attach your lasting board here. You can either put 3 nails in the front, back, and the middle, or you got a little bit more experience and you're not worried about it moving around too much, just put a piece of double-sided tape right down the middle, and peel this off, and you got your lasting board. Now this lasting board I cut was for a size a little bit bigger, so I'm just gonna trim off the excess. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. All right, so lasting board's on. See how it's a little bit too big? So we're just gonna trim off the excess. Be very careful here. Fingers out of the way. All right, so once you put our lasting board, here's a couple of tricks, guys. If you're using, especially if you're using exotics, I like to get a spray bottle and maybe wet the underside a little bit or steam them. And then when you get them out of the steamer, they'll be nice and soft, and you can kind of last them a little bit easier. Okay? All right, so let's start lasting. Once you got your lasting board on, make sure you got the right side. This is the left shoe, so I'll get the left last. All right, guys, so you put your lasting board on, cut off all the excess all the way around. Make sure you got the shoe that goes on the right foot with the right last, and here it is. All right, first thing I like to do is kind of center it and make sure we're at the right height. All right, so There's a line here. There should be a line where the lasting allowance is. That should be right where you start folding it in like that. So let's try and line it up on the back, get the height right where we want it. Hold it front. See all these wrinkles here? Don't worry about it. That's normal. It's gonna go away. So see, it keeps moving. So let's put a nail in the back just kind of to anchor it down. This will be our anchor nail. And all right, so this will be our anchor nail. I'm gonna try and hide it a little bit over here. You can put it anywhere you want back here just so it doesn't move around on you, but I like to try and hide it a little. Okay, that's just so it doesn't move up and down on us. And let's see, let's check our height again. Yeah, I think that's pretty good there. And we gotta make sure we're centered this way, that way. So make sure everything's. Wait, one thing I forgot to tell you guys is before you last it, you gotta lace them up. Get some old shoelaces because they still might get dirty, and we're gonna put them in the oven, and you don't want to use good laces here. So get some old shoelaces, but it has to be kind of tight, as if you were to just lay this flat. Wherever it would naturally fall, that's how far apart these should be. All right. So that's how tight the shoelaces should be. If you were just to have this fall naturally, that's where I want those. Okay, let's make sure we're centered. I'm just trying to line everything up. There, nice. Kind of happy with that. So I'm gonna hold. We got them nice and tight, somewhat. I lined it up. Got one nail here. Make sure everything's lined up. Make sure the height is good. And now we're going to start pulling on the sides. First thing I'm going to do is pull right at the widest part, the girth there. I'm going to start there, all right? So, and sometimes this might be a little trial and error. You pull and then you realize you need to pull more on the other side. All right, so this is going to be a little bit of trial and error sometimes. You're just going to put a couple nails on here just to see how it looks, but you might end up moving it a couple times, and that's okay. Just make sure when you're putting the nails in, you're going down into the lasting board in the last, and not sideways into the last without the lasting board. So we got our nails kind of in all four corners, if you will. I'm already noticing right here it's off to the side. So you see how it's a little off that way. I might take this nail off and maybe pull a little bit more. Let's just pull it a little bit more this way, see how it looks. Like I said, it's a lot of kind of trial and error. Not really. We can easily remove the nails and start over again. It's going to take us 5 minutes. No big deal. So when we're pulling with these are called lasting pliers, by the way. You can't travel with them because this is considered a hammer, a weapon. I've gotten these confiscated at the airport, so don't try and travel with these because they consider this a hammer. Pull, use this hammer as leverage. Use the hammer side of the pliers as leverage. Pull on it, and then I'm going to push in with the tip of the pliers to hold it down. And with my other hand, I'm going to use these 3 fingers to hold it here while I use these 2 fingers to hold the nail. Okay, so I hold it here, I put the nail down, and I'm pushing hard on this with these 3 fingers so it doesn't move. So now the material's not going anywhere. Got the nail in place, and now I can let go of this and hammer it in a couple times. Then you get your fingers out of the way and finish it. All right, so let's see what we got. Now, it's looking okay. I think it's got to go a little bit more this way. Let me try and pull it a little bit more this way. I'm just trying to pull like the whole side this way. Let's see how it looks. So remember, you pull, hold it down with the tip of the pliers, put the nail on, hold it with your other fingers, and then you let go and hammer the nail in. About halfway, just enough so it doesn't. Okay, that is not looking good. So, see this wrinkle here? We're gonna have to redo the tip here. So, I'm gonna take off this nail and this nail, probably all the ones on the front half, and we're going to start that part over. It's really quick, guys, so no worries. Kind of happy with that shape. It's nice and tight. Got a good shape. All right, so I am going to finish lasting the heel because the heel we already stitched closed, so it's not going to, I mean, we need to finish lasting the back. The front we can leave it just like that because we're still going to last the upper. But the heel here, so we got to make sure it's nice and finished. And if you're dealing with the thicker leather or even one of these exotics, you can get a spray bottle, just water, spray it, leather stretches so it'll be easier to last. But if you do that, make sure you leave your shoe on the last for at least a day or so to give the leather a chance to dry and go back to a shape it's gonna, you know, it's gonna dry up and shrink a little. So you want to leave it on the last for at least 24 hours and let it kind of harden up and dry up and stay in that shape. So you see you got little bumps here from the, can you see that? From the heel counter. So we can kind of massage those in a little, being very careful not to damage the leather with the corners of the pliers. So we're just going to keep pulling here. See, I'm kind of pulling and going towards the middle. So pulling and going this way towards the middle a little. Towards the center of the heel. Use as many nails as you have to, it's fine. It's not, unless your leather starts ripping, then you gotta be careful and maybe use more glue instead of the nails. Maybe just a little bit more this way, I think. So don't worry about this, we're gonna deal with this later. Right now I just want to make sure the heel is done. Alright, so that looks pretty good there. So now what I'm going to do is put a little bit of cement here, some glue, and I'm going to glue the liners down. Alright, so this is just regular barge, all-purpose cement. I like using these little disposable squirt bottles because I've been traveling a lot lately and I'll leave the shop for like weeks at a time, and if I have a glue pot, my glue goes bad, so I like using these little bottles so I don't waste a lot of glue. And these are just little disposable brushes from Amazon. You get 50 of them for like $1. Actually, I don't know, but they are pretty cheap. A little bit more glue, and remember the cement, we got to apply it to both sides. So right now I'm just kind of going a little bit over just to make sure I cover the whole bottom side of the lasting board, I mean. Okay, so the lasting board is good. Remember, just a thin coat, that's all you need, is a very thin coat of this. Don't put too much. And then I'm going to put some on the liner, but I'm going to do half of it first, this half first, because I want to hold this sideways so it doesn't drip like inside here in these cracks. See that crack there? It's already starting to drip a little bit. You can see that. But I'm going to hold it sideways so that when I do this half, it won't drip inside the last. So do this half. cut. Anyways, and so the back half, I'm going to put glue everywhere because the back half, the heel part is already done. Like, we're not going to put the heel counter in. We're not going to do anything back there. So put cement on everything. But on the front half, I'm only going to do it on the liner. Okay. Something on this side. And remember, I'm doing this shoe kind of half and half. It's like a hybrid kind of method because I wanted to show you guys both ways. All right. This way you last everything out, at the same time. You got your liner and your upper. You put your heel counters in, your toe puffs, and you close it with a stitch, and then you just last everything at the same time. The reason a lot of people do it this other way that we're going to do on the front side is because it's easier to shape the toe. You got more flexibility there. You can shape the toe, and when you last the liner first and then the upper, less chance of you getting those wrinkles on the toe. It is an extra step. It takes a little bit longer, but and so the back half, I'm going to put glue everywhere because the back half, the heel part is already done. Like, we're not going to put the heel counter in. We're not going to do anything back there. So put cement on everything. But on the front half, I'm only going to do it on the liner. Okay. Something on this side. And remember, I'm doing this shoe kind of half and half. It's like a hybrid kind of method because I wanted to show you guys both ways. All right. This way you last everything out, at the same time. You got your liner and your upper. You put your heel counters in, your toe puffs, and you close it with a stitch, and then you just last everything at the same time. The reason a lot of people do it this other way that we're going to do on the front side is because it's easier to shape the toe. You got more flexibility there. You can shape the toe, and when you last the liner first and then the upper, less chance of you getting those wrinkles on the toe. It is an extra step. It takes a little bit longer, but I think it looks better. So, all right, so it's been 5 minutes. It's pretty tacky. All right, so it's ready to be hammered down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the end of the hammer and I'm gonna start bending these nails inward. Kind of want to go even all the way around. Going little by little, doing on this side, on this side. Okay, so the heel is pretty much done. We're just going to wait for that to dry. We're going to take off the nails. All right, so that's one way of doing it, guys. I just want to show you guys this way of doing it. And then on the toe, I'm going to show you another way of doing it. So for the toe puff, we're going to center it. First thing we're going to do, I got my heat gun. I'm going to start heating it up. Normally I don't do this on my knee, but I'm doing it for you guys. Alright, so the goal is not to do everything at once. I just want to heat it up a little bit so I can kind of place it where it goes in the middle. Alright, so it's going to start sticking like that. Now I got it centered. Now I can go onto this side or that side. I'm going to go onto this side. And all these toe puffs, they come already skived, pre-cut and skived. I have two sizes. One is like for 9, I think, or 10 and below, and the other one's for larger than that. So you'll find it gets very soft when you heat it up. You want to make sure you're going all the way down to the lasting line and getting rid of all these wrinkles. You can even hammer them down a little. And if you're still not sure, so they're going to be noticeable, heat it up again, and do it again. Just massage these out of there. And just like that. Alright, let's go on to this half now. Be very careful with your heat guns because you'll burn this stuff quickly. The liner's very thin, your backing, your reinforcements will make a mess. Alright, so you notice when it gets hot, you can stretch it a little bit. So I don't know, what do you guys think? The heel method or the toe method? Which one do you like better? This one takes a little bit longer. As you can see, this was done pretty quick and it looks good. I mean, there's no, you know, it looks fine. But it does take a little more practice. And actually, if you have a steamer, that would really help a lot more. Or you throw it in the oven, it's fine either way. You just gotta make it soft. But if you do throw it in the steamer or if you spray it with your water bottle, make sure you let it dry on the last. Don't take it off the last for 24 hours. Make sure that leather is nice and dry because it is gonna shrink. All right, okay, so I think we're good. There is our toe puff. All right, now I'm gonna skive underneath here a little, just to get rid of all these little wrinkles here. Okay, you can get a rasp if you want and kind of finish it off with the rasp. Make sure it's nice and smooth. All right, and there is our toe. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue here and on here, and I'm gonna close it up. You can put some spray glue here. There's other type of glues. This German, I think it's a potato glue made up. It uses like a starchy. It's made out of potatoes. I don't know. And it dries up and it gets hard and it's almost like an extra stiffener. Starts with an H. Somebody put a link to it, please. It's actually, do I have it here? Nope. So this is just a little extra glue to make sure it doesn't move. Keep this nice and tight. A little layer is all you need. Don't get crazy with the glue. Nobody likes to get crazy with the glue. Well, some people do, but don't get crazy with the glue anyways. All right, so let's pull it back down. And make sure we don't have any wrinkles. There's a little wrinkle here I'm going to try and pull out before this glue dries all the way. So I'm just kind of massaging it underneath while I'm pulling. And there it is. Alright, so now we do the full lasting of the front part. So now I'm going to actually put a bunch of nails in here, and we can speed this up. I'm going to put some nails in my mouth so you won't hear me talking. We'll speed through this. I think we got a good shape. Nice and tight everywhere. I don't feel any loose areas. Alright, so I'm going to put some glue down here. Sorry, not glue, cement. Barge cement. Barge all-purpose cement. I think I get the white can, the tooling-free one. Not even sure what tooling is, but I'm tooling-free. Once we apply the cement, we're going to give it about 5 minutes to dry, and then we'll come back and hammer all these nails down. All right. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, guys. So we let it dry about 5 minutes. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the heel. Okay, there it is. So we're all lasted. I'm gonna let all this cement dry. Come back the next day and remove the nails and put on the sole. All right. So I know it's a different shoe, but trust me, same process. I even showed you guys 2 different processes. Toe, where we last the liner first. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna let it dry. Oh, the other method was everything all at once. Last everything at once. Close up your cut or your pattern pieces, whatever you want. Your upper, close your upper, and then last it all at once. As you can see, it's not too bad. So you guys choose the way you guys want to do it. I prefer to do it this way because that way I make sure there are no big wrinkles on the toe. All right, so stay tuned. We'll see you next time when we put the soles on.